Among the very many people who lost election, one of the people who stood out was Chairman Nyanzi, Bobi Wine brother. In fact, even me, I was surprised that that constituency that has never been in the hands of the NRM was taken by the NRM by one Madina Nsereko, a lady. Chairman Nyanzi was seen waiting when they were declaring another candidate. In fact, this is what happened.
Refer to the declaration form. Declaration forms. Criminals. They are criminals. They are using false results. You are supposed to protect the you have hijacked the process of electoral commission. You control your control. What's the problem with you?
That is Chairman Nyanzi. So the purpose of this video, I've come to tell you the reason as to why Chairman Nyanzi lost this election. Because when you look at the results, the NRM candidate Madina Nyanzi got 18,000 votes. Chairman Nyanzi got 11,000. That was a huge margin. I think the third was Royce Mboga, got 4,000. Even when other opposition votes were combined all together, they couldn't reach the NRM margin. And I've come to tell you why. But before I do this, I want to let you know that if you're new to this channel, please subscribe. And if you're watching this video from a different platform, please head on to YouTube, type in Sula Mawagali. There's a lot of content of this nature. If geopolitics and economics is what you want, this will be definitely the right channel for you to subscribe to. So world over, brothers and sisters of leading candidates, both at presidential position, suffer setback of winning electoral politics. Even Raila Amolo Odinga, his brother, had to fail severally for him to be elected as senator. Obolo Odinga, even as MP, they suffer a lot.
My being the brother of the Prime Minister is not a crime. And you know, the media has been treating this thing as if being the brother of Raila is a crime. This is a biological accident. I did not even ask God to make me the brother of Raila. I just found myself the brother of Raila. And he has his own fate, he has his own life. I have mine, which is completely independent. And when I make my decisions, for instance, to contest, I make them on my own. And I don't need his assistance at all. I will do my things on my own, independently. In fact, he cannot dictate to me what I do because I'm even older than him in age.
Now, let me first agree. There was a lot of vote bribery around Kampala because NRM was hell-bent in taking up these positions. And some of the victims were known. Even Narukola escaped narrowly. But to be specific for Chairman Nyanzi, that was a huge margin. Because I think, of course, number one factor is election were stolen. But also, too, the choice of candidate on that constituency. You know, sometimes brothers and sisters of Honorable Kyagulanyi are treated unfairly. People say they should not stand. Even people in the public look at it as if they are leveraging their brother to get positions. Yet it's not the fact. Chairman Nyanzi was way long in politics before Bobi Wine. It's like Eddie Awe was way long in politics before Bobi Wine. So they suffer that thing. In fact, they must fight hard where a person who's a brother works to get NUP ticket, for them they should work 10 times more to prove that they must be considered. That's the number one factor. So even when he was put in Kawempe North, by the way, he doesn't have a house, Kawempe South, very many people looked at it as if he was leveraging his brother. That's why many people opted for Roy Semboga for the ticket. But that narrative can be disposed of since Nyanzi was the second runner-up. In fact, in very many instances, many commentators came out to say that if NUP gives Nyanzi a ticket, they will opt to vote for NRM. Maybe even that was a narrative. For me personally, that was a wrong constituency for Nyanzi. But even away from that, apart from stealing elections, okay, General Museveni wanted a representation in Kampala, and it would be even a sweet representation if a brother to the president is put down. It is the truth. So my humble opinion is, one, Nyanzi went in a wrong constituency, because you cannot tell me that you go in a constituency where you don't have attachment. It was a wrong mistake. However much I want Nyanzi to be in parliament because he has done a tremendous contribution on the NUP, but it was a wrong constituency. It is the truth. Truth can be said. It is the truth. I think that was a fact. It is the reason those who are coming out to say that if they give ticket and Chairman Nyanzi ticket, they would opt to vote for NRM. Maybe they did that in anger. It can be possible. The number one factor so is stealing elections, but two, he was even a wrong candidate. It is the truth. Okay? A constituency like Kawempe North that has never been NRM, how can it go to NRM in such circumstances? In fact, even Nyanzi said these statements.
Wano mu Uganda nga ffe abakubirira abantu abakulu nga ffe abakubirira ku bavubuka obutakola nsasagge. Naye kati kuba akafaananyi abantu abanooze Kawempe ne banjira obululu wakati mu bizibu ebiyitirivu ne basawo ne bajja ne balonda mu kutisibwa kati okubawa results nga bonna muna babaddewo ne babala obululu bwabwe ne buwera ne balinda electoral commission eveeyo erangirire ekyo ekyavudde mu kulonda. Kaakati the form oba empapula ezirangirwako okulonda abantu bonna ze basayininga ne baagenti tebazikonsideringa, tebazitwala nga kikulu. Balangirira byabwe, balangirira bye babalagidde kulangirira. Kati okulonda kuluzinze meaning mu society yonna. Okulonda bwe kuluzinga meaning nga kyekyobugaga kyokka ensi kyeba nakyo, society eyo ebeera mu bizibu byotalabanga. Fe kati abamu tuli banafunafu naye ab'amaanyi bwe banaaluzinga hope nga tebakyalina buddukiro, nga tebakyalina kyakkola, ensi egendagenda mu ki? Ng'oyagala okupima obugunjufu bw'ensi opimira ku kulonda. Abantu bawayo obudde bungi nnyo okwetegekera okulonda, famire zaabwe ne zeesubya ebirungi ne badda mu kigambo kalulu. Abantu bannansi bennyini ne batandika okunoonya akalulu. N'ojoba frustrating nga bw'otyo n'okola ebintu ebyambyone ebiswaza eggwanga lyaffe. Eggwanga lyaffe lyongedde okuswazibwa, naye ekintu ekikulu twandisigaza okulonda nga kwo kulimu omugaso. N'ekyo nze mba waggulu nga ntegeeza bannayuganda nti electoral commission tekyayina kyegasa. Poliisi ya Uganda mujja bwedde etusindiikiriza, kati baagala tuvawana ekiro bakwate abantu baffe batukuba emiggo, abamu batukwate batusibe, ebintu ebyongeredde okutyoboola ensi yaffe. Kale kino kikwata ku buli muntu gwakikola, gwalimu NRM naawe ali gy'oli ewe ng'olowooza nti nooteredde. Mwebale nnyo.
That is Chairman Nyanzi. One thing I want to agree with is many Bobi Wine's brothers and sisters are treated unfairly in the political discourse as if they don't deserve a ticket. But also, I salute a person like Eddie Awe, who sat back and decided to watch. Because some of the time, these are his brothers. In our African culture, sometimes you may fear to tell your brother off. It takes your brother to understand the circumstances so that he can opt back. Okay, that's why some narratives are coming out to say maybe if they had given the ticket to Roy Semboga, we would get another maybe result. I also want to think so. It is the truth, because those statements were already coming out to say that if they give Nyanzi, the NRM will pass through, and it has passed. In constituencies where General Museveni was hell-bent in taking Kampala, such blunders were unnecessary. It's the same as why one of the factors as to why he lost was because he was in prison. One, he couldn't mobilize well, but two, also he was versing a former member of parliament of that area for 20 years, Deputy Attorney General, who of course worked with the NRM to steal elections. But two, even Waiswa's constituency was wrong. He was just taken there. He was never a candidate there. I want Waiswa to be in parliament. Is a force that would add value in parliament. It is the truth, but it was a wrong constituency. They just wanted to get soft landing for him. Okay? I wish that that consensus was given to Kakande, because right now we must evaluate ourselves. Kakande would be a more viable candidate. Kakande was in that constituency for almost 3 times contesting, being a second runner-up, sometimes this being the first runner-up. Okay, so in future, such things are supposed to be looked at, not getting candidates from just to get safe landings in certain constituencies without them not having a lot of mobilization tool. So for me, even on Waiswa's side, I think he was taking a constituency where he didn't have attachment. It is the truth, because he went there 2 months prior to the election. He would have won that election, just that there was some vote rigging, but also he was in the wrong constituency. Truth must be told, because we cannot afford losing constituencies in our stronghold. It is impossible. I felt bad the NRM taking over constituencies in Kampala, which have been ordinarily NUP and the opposition. Those things are supposed to be looked at. Of course, that's my opinion. Remain yours truly, Mr. Makinde. Kabir Sulaiman Mahagali. If you're new to this channel, please subscribe, like, and comment so that I can be motivated to do more of such videos. I'll see you on another one. Peace.